both federal and state.
I'm not clear on what this has to do with the overall funding allocations.
Because I want to know why.
The Fraud Commission is not set up, nor does it get involved directly with specific cases.
Why isn't the district attorney doing their jobs? And why doesn't, could you let me please finish?
There's an independence of prosecution, because if the Fraud Commission inappropriately pushed on one claim or another in order to receive funding, it would create a lack of independence of prosecution. It is up to the district attorneys.
They did nothing.
It is up to the district attorneys to determine the cases, which ones are prosecutable, and how they will prosecute them. It is not up to the Fraud Commission at all.
Well, can I just please? Lieutenant Stroski arranged for a meeting with Susan Crouch, Department of Insurance, Fraud
Again,
Unit.
we need to talk about the specific overall funding of the commission and the district attorneys. If you would like to make your comments on public comment, we are more than interested in listening to you at that time.
Okay, so at the end,
But we do not.
I think that she's allowed to certainly make comment period within her 3 minutes, stating that she disagrees with the funding of a particular county for a reason, and that's fine. She has that right.
May I finish?
Go ahead.
One second, ma'am, before you finish. So you're saying she's allowed to talk about you specific. You have an issue with one county, am I correct?
There's 2 counties,
She's
Sacramento
allowed to
and Yolo.
She's allowed to make public counties regarding the funding recommendations, and if she believes that there's an error in the funding recommendation, she's allowed to voice that, whether that's because they have failed to prosecute or because they prosecute in a particular rate, or whatever the point may be.
Okay, with that logic, that she should start 3 minutes to start again. Can we interrupt you?
Full contents and corresponding evidentiary pages with numerous legal codes referencing federal and state of California violations, civil violations, and workers' compensation violations committed by Agraquest, the California Workers' Compensation System, Agraquest Workers' Compensation Carrier, Liberty Mutual, and their defense attorney, Daniel White. After numerous communications between Lieutenant Stroski and myself, there was a meeting with Lieutenant Stroski on October 24, 2007, at the Yolo County District Attorney's Office in Woodland. Present at this meeting was Lieutenant Stroski, Mr. Doug Haney, and myself. Additional documents were given to Lieutenant Stroski at this time. Lieutenant Stroski arranged for a meeting with Susan Crouch, California Department of Insurance Fraud Unit Supervisor. This meeting took place on January 23, 2008. Attending the meeting was Susan Crouch, Dina Padilla, and myself. Ms. Crouch had called me within 2 hours of the January 23rd meeting, in which she said, "This has bothered me since you were here." Ms. Crouch set up an appointment with the Sacramento District Attorney's Office exactly 1 week later on January 30, 2008 with District Attorney Dale Kitching. Attending this meeting was District Attorney Kitching, Doug Haney, Ms. Crouch, and myself. I have heard nothing from Mr. Kitching nor anyone else from the District Attorney's Office concerning the matter of the illegal acts committed against my son. Since this Commission's purpose is to investigate and prosecute workers' compensation insurance fraud.
This commission does not investigate, nor does it prosecute workers' compensation fraud. This commission is here to fund the district attorneys.
But the district attorneys are supposed to prosecute, which they are not doing. I'm almost done, sir. Please let me finish. Please explain to me why businesses in California are not being held accountable for fraud they have committed. I have repeatedly given the property authorities more than enough evidence to initiate an investigation as to the fraud committed by my son's former employee, the non-compliance of reporting an employee injury and illness, listing the wrong insurance carrier on the employee's claim for workers' compensation, which they themselves received a denial letter and merely chose to put it in his employee file, and the inexcusable acts of the California Workers' Compensation System to even allow a case to continue when the correct insurance carrier was 195 days past the allotted 90 days to deny a claim for California labor codes. I'm almost done. California does not only does not hold employees who commit fraud accountable, they also give them a reward of a 74% experience modification for good job done. This in itself is premium fraud. The cost of medical care for the injured employee is placed solely on the backs of the American worker.
How does this apply to the issue that is before the commission?
Why such a large budget for the district attorneys when they don't prosecute who they should be prosecuting? You guys are protecting the businesses in the state of California. You know, you got, everybody's going after the employee who's fraudulent, and that should be done. I totally agree with that. But there's also a lot of businesses out there that are committing fraud by not reporting, by lying. You know, they're not paying the proper premiums because they've had injuries, and then they're not being prosecuted and held for fraud, and the state is losing money because you're not finding them and collecting the money from them. I'm almost done. With all due respect, you wonder why our state has such an enormous deficit. Your protecting unsafe employers in this state has contributed greatly. Can you please explain to me just what does this Fraud Assessment Commission and the California District Attorney's offices do? I want your commission to investigate why there were never any actions taken by Yolo County and Sacramento County District Attorney's offices for the information I have provided them in the past, as well as the information I'm giving you now. Now, what I gave to you was your letters and CDs with the PDF files, and within this PDF files, on the back is what I have presented to Lieutenant Stroski. There's a table of contents here that shows all of the laws that were broken. On the front, in 2008, a video was done with an interview titled "Injured Agraquest Biotech Worker David Bell Tells His Story."
So all the information is in the...
It's in here,
That's my thing.
but I could only give, I had trouble with my printer. So it's in here, and there's pictures of the exact documents in here. So
Thank you.
I wanted to print them out for all of you, but I just couldn't do it. And thank you very much. And who do I give this to?
Nurse Baker will be fine. One more public comment?
I'll save most of my public comment for later on, but I just want to say I oppose funding for Yolo County and Sacramento County for David Bell, for Agraquest, Kaiser Workers, UC Davis, there's others employers, Bakerfield area, LA County for County Studio and Kaiser, and then San Mateo County for Joe Dowd and Eva Blick. I'll be back.
Thank you. Is it time for a motion?
I believe it is.
May I hear a motion?
I'd like to